detective. Thrill me.
Thanks for joining us again. Back in the 70s, late 70s, we've inadvertently stepped into a double bill of 70s pictures. But I believe the reason why we did this one, Matty, is because we watched Jaws previously, and then Jaws was in this movie. We were drawing a close bow, but this is 1979's Moonraker. So our first Bond picture, I believe. I don't think we've done another one.
No.
Or have we done Casino Royale?
No.
We haven't done any.
Pretty sure we have.
So this is our first Bond film. Be good for a little ride.
If you're going to start it,
hang on to it. Before we do that, though, what we've been watching, let's do a quick whip round. I'm going to keep mine short because I only had three things. I watched the first 2 episodes of Lock and Key. Mm-hmm. Not bad.
Yep.
Not bad. It has an interesting premise, and it's kind of got some nice nerd type of stuff included, including these guys who make horror films and talk about Tom Savini and stuff like that, which I thought was cool because, obviously that's my sort of bag.
Stephen's taught the family well that you sell every property that you...
Yeah, he's taught his son very well. Sell it. but keep the rights so you can do it again. So it was all right. I saw Fantasy Island. Absolutely shocking. Jared, you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
The idea was okay. Like, taking the idea from the TV show and turning it into a horror film, could have worked. Not in the hands of Jeff Wadlow, though.
Well, yeah, shit peddler. It's like the idea. There is a movie there that is quite an intriguing little idea of how you ended up with the TV show.
Yeah,
but this wasn't it.
No, it wasn't. And look, this is Blumhouse. This is classic Blumhouse. It's probably made for fuck all.
Yeah.
They'll make 25 domestic and another 25 overseas, and they're happy with what they're getting.
The scenes were just as flat as buggery.
Oh.
The characters were just flat. There was only really one where the fantasy idea I was sort of invested in.
Yeah.
The 2 brothers, bugger me. Like, they almost single-handedly destroyed the film.
It was just... It was difficult to watch.
It was.
It was.
The person that had the best time in the cinema was old mate 3 seats down from us who slept for an hour. Honestly, he was out for an hour.
He might have been a bit of a kip in the movie.
I don't mind a kip, but I'm gone for 5 minutes.
This guy was snoring during
it would
the
just
film.
be like, you'd be sitting there and you'd hear the...
And all I could think of was...
go away, and then 5 minutes later you just hear...
I wished I was him. I actually wondered what he was thinking about.
It got to the point where after half an hour, every time you'd hear him, I'd get the giggles because the bloke was out for an hour. No word of a
He
lie.
was
And the
deep.
movie was
deep.
what, 2? So he got in there, about halfway point we heard him and then just didn't stop for the rest of the movie.
Loved it. Good on
He
him.
went to the ticket office at the end of it and said, I'd fallen asleep.
Look,
the movie was shit.
there is
Do
no...
you reckon they'd be like, it is Fantasy Island, have your money back?
Yeah,
You know what?
they probably would.
There is no review in the world better than that. That sums your fucking movie up.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean...
I'd imagine it's similar. Remember Civic Video used to have the love it or swap it free. I remember picking up a movie there one night and the bloke behind the counter goes to me, look, we do have a love it or swap it free a guarantee, so I expect to be hearing from you tomorrow. This movie was online with that.
Brilliant. And the last thing I watched was Jaws the Revenge. So, fair to say, from the penthouse to the shithouse in one foul swoop. I am not going to lie, I love this movie because it's so bad it's good.
Yeah.
But it would have to be probably one of the worst movies of all time, and probably the most irresponsible sequel in history, I reckon. You know that it cost somewhere between $25 and $30 million, and there are 5 different sequences, count them, 5, where you can see the runners that the shark's on, the hydraulics hanging out of the side of it. That's you pay people to tell you that that's there to take it out. It's obvious these people had no fucking idea what they were doing. And in 1975, the shark effects were considered not very realistic. They are 10 times worse here. And yet you've had 10 years to come up with better quality
Maybe production
special
of it was
effects.
only for
And you had
seasons.
more money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it did turn out that they took very short time to pull it together. And it was an absolute shambles. There is supposedly a storyline that wasn't in the film about voodoo and how the shark was being used as a pawn by this voodoo guy. And all I can think of is, where's that movie? I want to see that movie.
Absolutely.
It was absolute shitfest.
Well, the director's motto is close enough is good enough.
Yeah. But I can see some tubes hanging out the side of it. Nah, don't worry about that. No one's noticing that. Yeah, everyone's noticing. Okay, that's it for me.
Yeah, I've got a small list.
What do you got? Love Island?
That's-
Love is Blind?
That's actually heating up. First year these desperate people aren't staying together for the sake of the show. It's good. Let's move on. A Bad Mouth, still watching that. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
There's just there'll be one moment in there where you just laugh out loud. It's generally at a high level. Still wrong, but funny. I'm still watching Sick Note as well.
Yep.
I'm Killer's been going on and off in the background.
Oh, is that the documentary show?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like
There's
that.
some mental
Just
people out there.
it's very
You
interesting
hear their
to hear their
story, and
stories.
you're just I can understand why you're telling yourself some lies to help you get through the day, but
Yes.
yeah, it's a bit sad. And Bad Boys as well.
Bad Boys
So-
for Life?
Yeah.
And what do you think?
Yeah, Martin Lawrence hasn't aged well, but they're very committed to the Bad Boys song.
Yes.
And the witch plot's a bit random, sideline.
Yes,
but
yes.
you get everything you want from a Bad Boys movie in there. Some of the action is
I
terrific.
mean, I probably got more of Martin Lawrence, e.g. girth-wise.
The scene where they're paralleling Mike Lowry in the Porsche or the Ferrari, whatever it is.
and him sitting around at home.
Yeah, reclining on the chair as opposed to pulling the gear sticks. Hilarious.
Yeah, that was
There's some
good,
really
actually.
good stuff in there. Also, since we're doing a Bond, and I've been watching a lot of Fireman Sam, his voice is very much Sean Connery. Next time you have a small child in the house and you're forced to watch Fireman Sam relentlessly, you won't be able to get
Just
it out of
imagine
your
Sean
head.
Connery and what Fireman Sam's doing in his off hours.
He's doing his best Spanish accent.
Oh, God.
One Villa Lobos Ramirez.
Yes.
But that's
That's it?
pretty much me. Yeah, it's been
Okay.
a very shallow couple of
Okay.
weeks.
All right.
What do you got?
I had an up and down week. Obviously, Fantasy Island, which we've gone through there. I had The Outsider. I'm continuing on with The
How
Outsider.
is that? Still going well?
Still going well. I think I'm on episode 3. So one of the characters that is extremely important in the book hasn't come in yet, and she comes in late in the book as well. It ties into Mr. Mercedes and those sort of books too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm really, really liking it so far. Jason Bateman directed the first episode and the second episode, and he did a great job. As I said, I think the visuals that I couldn't really imagine in the book have worked really well in the series, so I'll definitely check it out.
Okay.
Death Rides a Horse. Spaghetti Western.
How was it?
I watched that on the back of Kill Bill because there were some sequences that were
Similar?
found it available for nothing, so I watched it.
How was it?
I loved it.
You loved
It was great. It was really good. Just a down the line revenge tale, very predictable, but yeah, I really liked it. I would definitely check it out. I'm gonna get into some more of that. I've checked out some lists of the best spaghetti westerns, some of Quentin Tarantino's favourite spaghetti westerns. So I'll be digging into a few of those.
Very good.
Not so great on the Kill Bill kind of inspired viewings. I watched Arizona Heat, which was a film with Michael Parks. It was on Amazon Prime.
You
funnily
said
enough.
you can watch anything.
I
with
could
you.
watch anything. He was entertaining, telling people, "I wish your mother had knocked you on the head and sold the milk" and things like that. He's still got some great parts, but it's about this. It's about somebody killing people in the police department, killing police officers, and he's a detective. Absolute scumbag. He's always waking up in someone's bed, pissed as a fart. He's just, and it's a stinker. Honestly, one person walked into the movie, they were on screen for 10 seconds, and I said, yeah, that's them.
That's the killer.
And that was the killer. Like, it's pretty bad. And there is his opposite is what's her name? Denise Crosby, I think it is, the wife from Pet Sematary. Yeah. And they bring in an interesting wrinkle with her character, which leads to some absolutely, like, it's some of the most dated stuff to do with sexuality and stuff. Like, Parks just turns into a real fucking scumbag. It just, I don't know, it was absolutely insane to watch. But yeah, I don't know if I could recommend it, but if you like Michael Parks, you might get a few minutes of entertainment. I watched The Lighthouse. I went to Dendy and caught The Lighthouse.
How was that?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Another one of these ones, a little bit midsummerish, where there was a few sequences where I'm thinking, "Ooh, this one's going over my head." But the way that it's shot is awesome. Like, it's shot in a different aspect ratio, so it really kind of heightens this sense of you're stuck in this little place with these people. And Pattinson and Willem Dafoe are fucking fantastic. Black and white is really effective in that sense, the way that it's shot and everything. There's some out there stuff, but it's very sort of open to interpretation. And I quite liked it. Probably didn't like it as much as The Witch, but I'd say check it out if you like that. I got onto 3 from Hell.
Oh.
Didn't turn me around on Rob Zombie, funnily enough. I just wish he'd stop writing. Because again, there's parts of it that were really interesting visually, and some scenes that I could see kind of working, but the dialogue is just
This is the thing, though. The guy has not come forward. He hasn't improved.
No, he hasn't at all. The dialogue is just atrocious. Some of the back and forth between these two characters. Like, there's parts where they're talking about, oh yeah, I'm going to start directing stick films and this is what it's going to be. And I'm sitting there going, that's like, I mean, you'd hear that from fucking 15-year-olds and you'd hear more imaginative stuff. Like, why are we spending minutes of a film on this? Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah. And Sherry Moon Zombie is probably one of the best things about it, but even then, she's so uneven. Parts of it are just so overacted. And
I'd like to see him take someone else's project.
Yeah, I just wish he would write something. I just he'd direct something from someone else, work with someone for once, because his writing is just abysmal, and no character, no story. There's just nothing there. And I don't know why I keep watching his movies.
Oh, neither do I.
I've liked one of his films. And that includes a Halloween movie. If you can make me dislike a Halloween movie as much as he did, that's a fair thing you've done.
You're an optimist.
I don't know. Dominic Athena Gerard did all right too. He made me.
I haven't gone back to him. I dropped him like he was hot.
Joe Chappelle or whatever his name was, he made part 6. Fuck.
Yeah. Oh God.
He almost made me walking away from the franchise.
I watched Sonic with the kids.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah. How's that?
It was all right. For a kids movie, you'll enjoy it. Jim Carrey, the bloke is just a lunatic. I think he's carrying some of his real life stuff into the role, because there was parts where he was entertaining. He was really entertaining in the role, but he's kind of acting like that in real life too now. So I'm kind of like, he's blurring the lines. He's doing a little bit of Andy Kaufman. I don't know where he ends and the character starts.
Stop doing it, Jim. Just to let you know.
And the last one that I got, obviously me and you were big fans of Joel McHale's show.
Oh, yeah.
I did enjoy. The Soup is resurrected. It's a different host. Jade Carter Prater, I think her name is. Look, it's going to be hard to replace Joel McHale because I love the man, but the strength of the show is always the clips. And reality TV is just doling out some fucking absolutely brilliant moments. As long as we've got shows like Just Tattoo of Us, we can find some gold here. I'll get half an hour of good laughs for the week.
Absolutely.
So good to have that back.
It is good to have that back. Now, quickly, up or down, being this is a Bond film, the last trailer for No Time to Die was released just recently. Are we up or are we down on this latest Bond entry? Final Daniel Craig one.
Daniel Craig's an angry man, but thumbs up. It looks good.
Yeah, look. As long as it's not Quantum of Solace, Craig's been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Apart from Quantum of Solace. Spectre wasn't great, but it wasn't shithouse.
Yeah.
Quantum of Solace was fucking shithouse. Like,
Yeah, it was terrible.
I couldn't understand what was going on. I had no idea
And
who
I
the
think that
villains
was
were.
the writer's strike played into that
Yeah.
quite significantly.
I believe they were doing. He was writing pages for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
When that's happening, you know you got problems.
Yeah.
So it looks all right. I think it'll be a nice way to perhaps round him out as Bond.
Yeah. I'm happy to have...
What's that, 5 for him?
Yeah, I think so.
So this is his 5th.
I'm happy to have Blofeld back, even though it
Yeah.
didn't work out so well in the last
No,
picture. I
but
think
this-
that was more of a writing issue, and Christoph Waltz is a very good actor.
Bring him back.
Very good.
Adding Rami Malek. I think they might have something. Although there's been word on the street that this has been plagued with problems too.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Look, I'm middling to positive on this one. I think
You'll see it.
I'll see it. Of course I will. I mean, shit. No,
We saw Fantasy Island, for Christ's
Fantasy
sake.
Island. Yeah, I might be the bloke snoozing for an hour through this one. But, it doesn't. I mean, the trailer doesn't do anything that you didn't expect from a Bond
No.
film, and it just looks. Yeah, Rami Malek looks interesting enough. Blofeld's still hanging around, so we've still got the Spectre.
What I'm hoping is that, because Skyfall, the trailer for Skyfall didn't look any different to the 2 previous Craig films, but it was a fucking massive cut above both of them. And that's what I'm hoping for here.
Yeah.
We get kind of like a send-off. It's another one of the quality and calibre of Skyfall, and not the calibre of Quantum of Solace, hopefully. But let's hope. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
No, Daniel hasn't got the pages in his head.
Yeah. He's not scribbling on any script notes or anything.
All right, well, let's take a break. Here's the trailer for 1979's Moonraker.
Hang on, James.
The thought had occurred to me. Moonraker is out-of-this-world entertainment, says Rona Barrett, ABC TV. Irresistibly entertaining, says Time Magazine. Roger Moore is James Bond, 007, in Ian Fleming's Moonraker, rated PG.
Moonraker from 1979, directed by Lewis Gilbert, who also directed Alfie and You Only Live Twice. The screenplay was by Christopher Wood, who wrote Spy Who Loved Me and Confessions of a Window Cleaner. Which it sounds like a sort of a, low red stick
Sound like a Skinamax film?
Sort of. I think it is. Jerry Anderson was also involved, and he created the Thunderbirds. And Tony Barwick, who I love this. He wrote a TV show called Dick Spanner P.I.
Dick Spanner. Wow.
I wonder if I can get the series on DVD because I'd like to know what Dick Spanner is all about.
Yep.
And of course, it's based on a novel by Ian Fleming. It's produced by Albert Broccoli, and who does all the James Bond films, and Jerry Anderson, but he was uncredited. Same guy, obviously, did Thunderbirds. Roger Moore's Bond. Lois Childs as Holly Goodhead. Michael Lonsdale's Hugo Drax, and Richard Cale is Jaws. The budget was $34 million in 1979.
Maria.
Holy shit. That's like $100 million. And it grossed $210 million. And this was the highest grossing Bond film until GoldenEye in 95.
And
Shit.
was nominated for an Academy Award
What?
for special effects.
yeah.
What? No.
Yeah.
Jesus. I mean, it was a rough year. 79, if that's the case. Christ.
He's up. She was alright. Would have been nominated for a bloody stuntman. Lookalike. Things like that, but
I'm going to go first here. It is just pure stupidity from start to finish, and it is super over the top, but I was entertained by this, and it's because the film knows exactly what it is and gives you exactly what is expected of this type of film. They never take themselves seriously. Roger Moore fits this kind of shit perfectly because the added humour, I don't know, just made me feel like, yeah, I was enjoying myself. It's light-hearted fun, so I went for 3 out of 5.
I agree with you in the sense that they knew what that there was a formula at this point with
Yeah.
Bond, and Moore's always formula. They knew what they were aiming for, but they still dip into some unintentional comedy at times, which
Yes.
almost adds to the entertainment value. So, there was parts of it that were a little bit dull. I didn't like the villain. I thought he was a little bit dull as Bond villains go, but overall, it was fun from the get-go. Most of the way through, not too many flat spots in terms of entertainment. So, three out of 5 for me.
Came out of the gates. Well and proper.
Pretty good.
How do you feel?
Faded a bit after that. The villain looked like Ricky Gervais with no charisma. It was funny. I was glad. I was worried that Roger Moore wouldn't get the leg over, but he did multiple times.
You don't need to worry about that. Anything to worry about.
God, I thought that was his job.
And,
He's a gigolo who just happens to have a couple
He's a
of gadgets on
fluffer.
him.
I reckon that Mike Myers probably watched this about 50 times in preparation for Austin Powers. So.
Yeah, true.
So, but I enjoyed it overall. It's from as a kid. This is one of the ones that we went back to pretty much because of Jaws, I think. And generous with a 2.5, I think. But
Yeah, you give it 2.5.
but it's
surprising.
fun. But it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
I say what people want, so getting into the likes here, I enjoyed Roger Moore. I think, again, Jared, you probably hit the nail on the head. They knew they couldn't give him meaty stuff because that wasn't his style.
He sits the Swami. Every time he looks at the camera, you think he's going to crack a joke or something. Like, he's always got the kind of cheeky grin.
Yeah, he kind of looks there. But it works because the material is really kind of over the top and not played straight.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's
Imagine
kind of
if
what I
this
like
Daniel
about
Craig
it.
was playing
Holy
the
shit!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Stiff.
Yeah, that's
You're right in the sense that for Roger Moore, they pitched this stuff where he's at.
Yeah, I don't know about his first movie. I haven't seen the first one he was in for a long, long time. But I bet you I can pretty much guarantee that most of them, View to a Kill, Octopussy, would play very similar to this.
I think
I'd say.
Moors were all sort of in this kind of vein, like over the top.
And maybe it was because they'd spent the early ones with Connery style, which was kind of a better mixture of suave and action man. And then I believe
Lazenby snuck in there.
snuck in for a quick go at it, but then Moore comes in and they know, we can't really go with.
Lazenby went critically acclaimed, but
Not for him. I think so, but not for him though. I don't think he was ever
give him
critically
some depth
acclaimed.
in that one. He got married and then
It's kind of taken a reappraisal in recent years, and people have looked back at it and said, hang on a minute, this one's not too bad. But I think Lazenby is average as Bond. As I said to you, I heard the bloke talk about it, and someone in the audience asked whether he felt he'd made a mistake by not going back to Bond, and his response was, when I was sitting in my mother's kitchen in Queanbeyan 12 months later, what do you reckon? Like,
it's sad.
And the word on the street was they were going to give him another film. It's not like they were going to cut him loose.
Yep.
So Moore kind of falls into it.
Yep.
And has a 6-film run
on the back of the Saint, right?
Yeah. He basically falls into it, and I think Moore, he just falls into the perfect sort of space of a little bit of humour.
Yeah.
Adds a touch of a different angle to Bond.
Yeah.
And they don't bother with this kind of shit about trying to sort of make him deeper. Because he was as deep as a puddle, mate.
Yeah.
They weren't interested in going any deeper with him.
Random side characters around him all the time.
But it works in this case.
Off. Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you, mate. When we first see him in a turtleneck, hello, ladies. Holy shit. I started laughing.
Takes no time in trying to get the leg over.
Yeah.
Waits not a second.
But I loved his fashion throughout. There's one where he seems to strut around in suits that have got like wide lapels and bell-bottom strides.
Yeah.
At one point, he's trotting around in a tweed jacket with elbow pads, and then he ends up in that ridiculous spacesuit get-up later on. He looks magic. It's magic.
He's irresistible to women in all of them. Like, doesn't matter what he's wearing, mate. Like,
I was looking at him for love tips because take him. He can transition from serious to the bedroom.
it seems like you just the tip seems to be you just walk into a room, you say about 3 sentences to a lady, and then you just assume we're on.
Yeah, there's a head.
I'm going to make the first move. That's how James Bond seems to operate.
Yeah, if she
stays or goes,
if she has the audacity to make the first move, he's like, no, he's like, no, we can't go there.
And I mean, it doesn't matter the situation either. Like, it could be a situation where he's coming in cautiously, and then he sees an attractive lady, and all his cares just disappear, and he goes into action. Like,
Because there's one sequence where he's sneaking into the villain's home, and then he runs into that girl, the I think she's French.
yeah,
He just runs into her, immediately stops sneaking around, and just wanders over and starts going, so.
How about you some alcohol? Have you got anything stronger?
You know what, though? I loved all that shit. It was just so stupid.
It got to a point watching those films where you're like, how many women does he bang in this one?
Yeah.
There's definitely the one that you never see again for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, early on, yeah.
You know he's going to bang the one that's that's been in it for heaps at the end.
yeah.
We've got to figure
But it
out.
is
The
funny.
funny thing is, he keeps coming back to seeing her, and it's like he falls in love with her. But anytime she's off the scene for 5 minutes, he bumps into some other bird and just walks into it bloody.
It's the spy game. You just hit it and quit it.
I thought these blokes were supposed to be incognito.
It's the best there is.
He has fucked his way across Europe.
He just looks like a porn star in that last scene.
Everybody knows who he is.
Just looks like a porn star.
James Bond, he's that guy who gave me crabs. He told me he was a spy. Liar. That's what it should have been. The twist should have been he was not a spy, he was just a liar to get laid. He was using the I'm a spy routine.
Oh, man.
Oh, mate. Oh, God.
I don't know why I thought about this, but I feel like we missed an entire movie on how those 2 blokes that snuck onto the Moonraker just ended up dropping out of the cupboard. Them getting onto that ship that seemed to be protected by MI6, the US government. That's the whole movie in itself.
It's not impossible to move a spaceship on an aeroplane. It's an impossible thing. First shot, I'm like, what the fuck?
I thought spaceships could, were kind of equipped to fly.
I was like, surely you could send it over in
They-
parts and build it.
They jump
somewhere
onto
else.
this one and they fire it up and off they go. So obviously it's working. We used it to
It had
get
fuel on it. It had fuel on it, and they transported it on an aeroplane
man.
that's the same size.
So good. Like just the fact that we get into the plane and these 2 blokes just kind of these 2 cupboards open and these 2 blokes just look at each other and off they go. I'm like, okay, we've missed a large portion of the story. That was a bit easy.
You can't pull these ones apart, can you?
The stunt work and some of the logistics involved in that sequence where they're fighting over the parachute
Yeah.
is pretty
Awesome.
fucking
Great.
impressive.
Awesome.
I mean, that's
done in the air.
yeah.
Well, not all, but the majority.
I mean,
of
imagine the
those
poor
shots.
bastard with the camera. It was no
Yeah.
GoPro back then.
No,
He carried it all back
He's got the handy cam out. He's just filming. He's like, "This is great, lads. Oh, we've got to do another jump. Sorry, boys."
But it is very impressive.
It is.
And it's a cool sequence. Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole idea of fighting over the parachute as they're plummeting towards the
Yeah.
ground, and the fact that it's all legit.
I remember loving making the point formation to chase down the guy.
Yeah.
I was like, why isn't he doing the same thing?
Yeah.
But I remember that from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
One of the most memorable Bond sequences.
Yeah, very
Let's
good,
be
very
honest,
cool.
Bond would have found the hostess's guns. He's getting pretty fancy there. She wouldn't have hid it anywhere that he's not trying to grab onto. Lecherous bastard.
There's nowhere on her body
Isn't that in another
could she
movie?
have hidden a weapon that he wouldn't have found.
Am I forgetting in another Bond movie where he's like, if you shoot that, it's going to depressurize the place and we're all fucked? Is that...
Maybe.
I feel like that's already happened.
I
was
can't
like, why-
remember it
yeah.
specifically, but I'm sure it's probably in there somewhere.
I kind of found Jaws interesting. He's
Yeah.
just this big, dumb kind of thug. But he also seems to be just...
Indestructible.
Yeah, he just seems to appear. And then he also has these really weirdly humorous pieces.
Yeah.
He also picks up a lady. I mean, look.
That was
the
great.
bloke has got a head like a busted ass.
Yeah, he's interesting because like they've come up with a it's pretty simple, but it's like, oh yeah, he's a massive unit who just fucking chomps.
You punch him in the abs
metal
and
teeth.
that makes a metal sound.
But as you said, he's got these like childlike kind of expressions.
Qualities, yeah.
Like before he gets into a blue with Bond, he gets this look of like a child with a new toy or something.
Yeah.
He's just
It's like
ready
Lenny-
to rock and roll. And
Lenny
then,
from Of Mice and Men or something.
yeah,
like that.
and when he gets like Bond gets away, he has like this. The looks on his face are like sadness and things like that. He's very kind of childlike.
Yeah, yeah.
It sort of adds to it. I like
Yeah,
it.
I think so too.
He does
He's an
himself.
interesting character, although there is absolutely no reason given as to why he's working with the villain. At no point does Jaws have any involvement with the villain,
Well,
He's,
as we said, if
except
you've got-
towards the end. I think.
if you've got the cash, you got room in the salary cap, and Jaws is a free agent, you say, yeah, get him on board.
Yeah, take him.
It's all.
Yeah, give him 15 minutes a night on the floor. Is that what
Actually,
you're telling me?
threes,
Yeah.
Plays good defense.
He's not going to spread the floor, but he's going to clog up the paint.
If he can just tip us over the edge with MI6 and nudge us ahead, we'll take it. We'll take it.
I love it. He's on the phone. Drax is on the phone. Well, if you can get him.
Yeah, if he's available, let's get him.
I love Jaws in this. He's just because he's got that little quirk, like it's like the Odd Job has the hat or whatever.
Yeah.
It just becomes iconic, and the comedy of him just dusting himself off at the end of every encounter that he has with Bond is hilarious.
Yeah, it does actually work. I could not stop laughing in the sequence where Bond was in the G-Force machine.
I wrote it down. Bond in the Gravitron. You know,
You know what? Is that legitimately more? Because quite frankly, by the end of it, his face looks like it's fucking going to come off.
the funny thing was, like, it was one of those sequences where they seem to have enjoyed speeding up the footage at times in this movie. So the footage is flying, and then they cut to him, and he's there going, kind of pulling faces and shit. Like,
Getting that flick the switch.
But I love by the end of it, his face looks like Play-Doh. It's
yeah.
I love it.
And he stumbles out, and she tries to help him up, and he brushes her off, and then he haunches over on the wall like he's going to vomit. It was like, it looked great. It was just,
It was so fun. I love that you're definitely going to pass out at 4Gs. So, I mean, it's like up to 7.
He cracks up to 12 or something,
Yeah.
doesn't he? And of course, James Bond doesn't pass out at 12 Gs.
So good.
Oh, God.
His face melts off.
It was
but he's
just
still
so
conscious.
funny, though. It was so funny.
Yeah. I might be jumping ahead slightly, but Bond's hybrid speedboat / gondola
Yeah, imagine.
is fucking champagne comedy.
Nowhere that whole scene
Is that where he flies off the edge of the thing with a massive big hang glider? Is that one?
No. That's the speedboat.
This is
So
the
prior
one
to that,
that's
when he's going through Venice and the guy in the coffin, first the guy in the coffin pops open and he's got some contraption that fucking hand delivers his knife. So he kills the driver, and then we find out that the whole time Bond's fucking gondola's been equipped with it as a
There was
speedboat.
someone with a machine gun on there, but they thought Knife Guy needs to sort him out first.
And they
He
say,
looks like Dracula. He comes out. He's got face is all pale.
Yeah, and
The
I was
knives were
thinking,
cool though. That was
Yeah,
I
when
was
the knives
thinking
go.
this guy's going to be an interesting, an interesting addition to the henchman, and then he's gone.
Yeah,
straight away.
And then Bond suddenly
they
goes,
speed up the footage again because Bond goes and starts flying his gondola through Venice. But then we get some absolute gold when the other gondola gets cut in half.
Yeah.
That he kind of runs around, and then the other boat behind him runs over. And the acting from the bloke that is playing the
On the way down.
he kind of sees Bond and he pulls this kind of stupid facial expression, and then the gondola gets cut in half, and it's like a mime. It's like he's doing Marcel or something.
He keeps
bloody
paddling even
ridiculous.
though the thing's going down.
Yeah, and then we get to Bond on the shore, and he hits a switch, and he fucking turns it into a hovercraft and starts steaming through the city square in Venice. The double takes are hilarious. The double takes. There's a section where there's a fucking pigeon, and they've let the footage play and then rewound it for a second, so it looks like the pigeon does a double take.
Because they've had the alcoholic guy at the table looking at his glass.
That's right, he's looking at his glass. There's a waiter that starts pouring the glass on. I mean, it's a hot shots. It's ridiculous.
Sounds like Top Secret.
But I was laughing from start to finish. Of that
Oh my
sequence.
It
god.
was even better because to start it off, he's trying to pick up Goodhead at the end of the pier or whatever, and she's not having a bar of it. He's like, "So I'll see you later then," and she's like, "Probably not." He's like, "I'll see you later." He's waiting for the booty call, and then he just like dashes off to the side and gets in a gondola, and you're like, oh, where did this come from? And then it turns into a chase. Like they couldn't have done that on the land.
Oh man.
Oh,
But anyway,
it's so
it was so good.
good. It
and
was
opened up
magic.
some great action.
It was
so-
magic.
Yeah. The double takes were hilarious.
double takes.
Mate,
Right.
the pheasant shooting where I'm not going to lie, I don't need to see a live pheasant shoot, which I think it might have been. So I don't really need to see that. That's in my dislikes.
Yeah, fair.
But
you need to show how
there's a sequence where he goes, you have a go, Mr. Bond. And he fires at the pheasants. Oh, you missed. Did I? He says, and this bloke fucking falls out of a tree. Some assassin who's been up there. It's champagne. It's champagne. And again, it's more gives us that look, almost looks at the camera and sort of going, check me out. I'm awesome.
I love that he's like, someone's might shoot him, and then he just goes away on the golf cart or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that plan foiled.
Yeah.
There's
Just
no
jumps on the
other
cart
way
and
that a
goes-
billionaire can get rid of him. There's no other way.
And the billionaire makes a rather amusing comment when he goes, "Make sure Mr. Bond has a terrible time." He says to one of his henchmen, the ninja guy Chang or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He was horrible. What was the bowl cut on that
He
bloke?
was roaming around
His
just.
bowl cut looks like when Sean Connery was playing a Japanese person in one of the Bond films.
Sticky tape.
Oh, God.
Bloody ridiculous. But
I love that. How bad is the line? Make sure some harm comes to you.
yeah.
That
And
was
then
the
that's when he sneaks into the Gravitron boost, isn't it?
Yeah. Switches the switch.
Yeah, that's so good.
But staying on that bloke, when he gets tossed out
Hey,
of the
Chang.
when he gets tossed out of the clock tower, I fucking burst out laughing when they have the shot of the piano. Then here's him with fucking legs. He's wedged in the piano, so his legs are kind of just like frozen, like stuck out in the air, and the rest of his body is fucking just munted in the piano.
I love it.
So it was classic Bond. We had a bit of action. This guy gets killed, but then it was just that Roger Moore Bond where I fucking burst out laughing when you see where he ended up.
The fight scene that he brings the guy that does kendo into the antique shop.
Yeah, I love that in the room full of breakables. He's just smashing the place up.
Where's the dumbest place we can put a guy with a big stick?
They're throwing each other through windows and through. It's unbelievable.
Every glass gets shattered. So good.
There is actually quite a nasty sequence involving the woman and the dogs.
Yeah.
And that's the dog's honour.
There's a bit of
That was
seriousness in
kind of
that one.
cool. Yeah, that was kind of... It showcased the villain was a nasty bastard. But
Yeah, I've got a big dislike around that, which I'll explain in detail later.
Why does he have to fire her first?
yeah!
Yeah, thanks, mate. Jaws going through the airport. Not really stretching the imagination much, but I did laugh when he goes, like, the alarm goes off and then the bloke looks at him and he kind of smiles. And the attendant just kind of looks at him with this look of kind of fucking horror. He just keeps on going. That was a bit of a chuckle.
You wouldn't pull him aside, would you?
No, continue, sir.
How funny are those gadgets they're testing?
Yeah.
Jesus.
A wrist gun.
The bloke who looks like a beggar on the street who splits in half with a bloody gun inside it.
That was
And then
absolutely
there's
gold.
another one involving those balls.
The bowlers.
Yeah, that's right.
They wrap around your neck and blow your head
I
off.
did see that and I thought, oh, geez, I hope Bond gets a set of them so we can see.
I've got to give you the taster of the laser. Melt the dude's head. Meow, meow, meow.
I was in absolute hysterics when I was
Yeah.
watching that.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
Were you not laughing when they did have the Magnificent Seven music and he's riding?
yeah, he comes in dressed up as the
In a poncho.
dressed up as Clint
It's like
Eastwood.
comically a little bit too small.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
man.
I did look at that scene that you were
I
talking about
loved
and
it.
think, why did they leave all the good stuff? I wish we'd seen all this in the action scenes.
He pulls out a laser gun and starts going burning people's faces off.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
My favourite part of the movie was this scene where they're discussing the flower, or they've figured out that it's a flower, and he says, "May I see the formula?" He's like automatically a chemist, and then he's automatically a botany expert,
Yeah.
and he knows where exactly they've found the last trace of this one flower that could potentially be turned into a nerve gas. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, classic Bond, though.
But it was
can't
so
he do?
good.
Yeah, exactly.
What can't he do?
I think the only bloody formula he knows is take penis. Put it in.
Woman plus man equals information.
I'm pretty sure if Bond was doing his duty, there'd be a few love children around. Baby formula too. That's how
I couldn't believe it when he asked for the chemical formula.
Woman plus
How
man
is he
plus
gonna look at
sex.
that and go, a nerve gas?
Yeah, that's on the board.
Yeah, the
That's on the
formula.
board at
I had the
MI6.
slide ready to go with the chemical
Yeah.
formula.
The formula Bond plus
Wow.
woman equals sex.
The formula's written on the board at MI6. Woman plus man plus sex equals information. And that's it. Yeah, it's like, how do I
Stick
say
figures.
that?
Yeah. James, you can't just talk to him, mate. You can just, if you...
No, I can't. I need to do more. I need to probe more expertly.
I did love... I loved the gondola scene. That was some good action stuff on there.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when Jaws is, when he's chomping on the cable and
Oh
stuff
no,
like that.
the cable cars.
Yeah, when he starts scaling the car
Yeah.
and they're fighting on top, and
That looks good from afar.
That was
It
more-
just doesn't look very good up when they're up close.
no,
because
when they're
it's
up
not-
close, it's a bit silly. But when you see
Stuntmen.
the stunt stuff is good in that scene.
There's also I felt the speedboat chase with all the gadgets and the firing the
Yeah.
rockets and everything, and then he hang glides off the thing. That was classic Bond. Like that was
Yeah.
classic Bond action.
But you cut me off too early because you forgot about the gurney. The bloke on the gurney steaming down the hill backwards, end up being jammed on the side.
into the side.
Again, I saw when they showed the gurney. I think it was sped up footage again, just steaming down the hill with his bloke on it. My anticipation was way up. I'm thinking, where's he going to end up? This is going to be great.
That was pretty silly.
Yeah, that was silly, but I laughed my head off again.
Yeah, I felt that speedboat chase was probably the best of the sequences
Yeah,
because
that
it
was
did
cool.
feel like classic sort of James Bond. He had the gadgets, there was rockets being fired at him.
Yeah.
He then gets out of it by hang gliding off a bloody waterfall or something.
And Jaws accidentally fucking yanks the steering wheel off and then
Just goes
a
over.
double take when he's
It goes off the waterfall. And then he rocks up later and he's just dripping.
presumably everyone else involved in the accident is dead. But he's just slummed ashore.
And you're not surprised either. I expected to see him.
Yeah, we knew he was going to be back. So good.
My last like was
He survived. To be fair, he survived the no parachute.
True.
And landed in the.
Landed in
I
the-
landed in the circus. Yeah, oh my god.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This movie is fucking ridiculous, isn't it?
I loved when he rocked up on the boat with a machine gun. I'm not bringing him along for that kind of work.
My last like was Bond versus Rubber Snake. Comic genius.
Fantastic.
Anaconda.
You swear he was wrestling with his own dick.
It is definitely a metaphor, right?
Oh, God.
It's comic gold because it's obviously not real. He's trying to make it look like the fight is on.
Again, I feel like you missed the comedy before that. When he walks in and all these women rock up. It's the Amazonians or whatever.
Yeah. And he senses danger, but then he sees all the women.
And then he just goes, and then he's like, he goes into shock and just leans on a rock. starts like eyeing each of them off. He's like,
where am I
all of you. Just creep around at night. I'm going to go from room to room. So good.
Jesus Christ. Oh man.
That safari suit. You want to talk about fashion? The safari suit he was wearing going through the jungle there. Oh my god.
That sequence was fucking... It's great.
Is there any other key likes here?
Yeah, I thought the effects were pretty good when they got onto the space station. I thought the effects in the space stuff was pretty good.
Yeah,
for the
well,
time.
yeah,
I
certainly
thought-
for that time, no doubt.
Yep.
79.
I liked how he got out of it. Out of Drax scared. Like he's like, so pretty much this is our eugenics thing. You're going to get rid of anybody who doesn't fit the mold of someone that you think is perfect. And
Yeah.
definitely. He said it in front of the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Jaws just like,
Jaws is just like...
it took him. He had to look at the girl a couple of times, the bosomy blonde, for a bit, but he figured it out. It was good.
I think my final like, just when I thought they'd used up all the double entendres they could handle in this movie, is when Q of all people pipes up when they say, "What's he doing?" And Q says, "I think he's attempting re-entry." Jesus Christ!
They had to do the horizontal floating.
Man.
They had to do it.
Magic.
We missed the whole scene in Rio when Jaws is getting the girl.
Oh yeah, forgot all about it.
And then the dancing conga line comes out. And whips him away.
Spirits him away. He's 250 kilos and 7 foot tall.
Over the top of them, he's kind of looking back with a kind of expression. It just goes along with
He
it.
just shrugs it off and goes,
Well, dead set. I reckon if you had if you had to continue with that shot 100 metres down the road, he's dancing. He's in the conga. He's in the conga.
Let's face it, the rhythm had got him. At that stage, he certainly wasn't coming back for Bond after that.
It was good because that clown costume was a mess. Scary. That was a big one.
That was pretty cool.
I enjoyed that bit. And she's like so scared she can't scream. Like you can't hear. Or, I don't know if she wasn't making a noise or it was too. I like that bit.
Oh man.
Any other likes? I mean, it's a fine line between likes and dislikes with a lot of this stuff.
very fine line because a lot of the dislikes I laughed equally.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Look, the plot is ludicrous. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. It is pure rubbish. I mean, either I nodded off or I just it was just so muddled because I'm sitting there going, so it's about a space shuttle is stolen, and there's a space station, and then there's some kind of like nerve gas. Where's all this coming from? And I just remember sitting there thinking, this is ridiculous.
It was the most ridiculous idea ever. We're going to spend multiple spaceships into space.
Finding out that the first fucking hour of the movie or whatever, when he's trying to figure out what's going on with Drax, and then we get the explanation of why he wanted the jet, why he stole his own jet back, and it's like
one of them has got broken,
developed a fault.
What? What are you talking about?
This one back.
I did some research. Not to be a naysayer in a Bond film, but I was like, how much would it cost to have a spaceship? And then I was thinking, how much would it cost to set up
a station,
an incognito space station in space? This is trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
When you have trillions
Don't forget,
of dollars,
he seemed to have 6 Moonrakers, didn't he? You can't account for the one that had a fault in it.
Yeah,
there's 7.
A spare on the side. It's like $500 million per spacecraft. Mate, he could have bought the whole NBA and be like...
Yeah, if you got that much money, just buy Planet Earth, mate, and do it here.
You could buy multiple islands and just repopulate there. Everyone else can get stuff.
Yes.
It was silly.
Although I laughed heartily at Bond's antics with the ladies, he is at his most sleazy in this film. Like, it is the sleaziest Bond has been, and I have never heard so many double entendres in my life. I mean, I reckon we were this close to innuendo. But I mean, there's one where he comes in for a bottle of wine and he goes, "Oh, if it was a 69, you would have been expecting me."
Thanks, mate.
Oh, thanks for that, mate.
Yeah, but what about when he first meets Dr. Goodhead and goes, "Oh, a woman." And I'm still looking at that going, she's definitely easier to buy as a scientist than Christmas Jones. 30 years later. 30 years later.
Reese Richards is Christmas Jones.
But yeah, that kind of I did laugh when I heard it, but I was like, oh Jesus, they've aged.
Whole thing. How to kill 5 hours.
Yeah, it's just it's pretty low. But 70, it was 79. It was seemingly acceptable.
Well, I think it was him. They were trying to make him cool as well. How you cool? You get the ladies.
Yeah, he seems to be globe-trotting to a lot of exotic locales, which look magnificent, mind you. But there's really limited reasons as to why he's there. Like, he just kind of
wanders. Any country that he doesn't fucking make a pit stop at.
Yeah, he just kind of wanders into these places, and Goodhead seems to be doing the exact same thing. Yeah. She's just globetrotting in the opposite direction.
I think it's probably a bigger issue than sending one 00 agent in.
Yeah.
And then when they've got the resources, they send him in. If he doesn't fix it, we're going to send our own spaceship into space to deal with this problem. They'll come about half an hour after you.
You can hit these 17.
They had it on standby.
You can hit these 17 spots at once. You've got enough agents to send out there.
Yeah.
Bond hits one and gets some info. Everyone else is going to Rio and Venice and doing it.
It's just the best.
We can do this more efficiently, people.
Let James do it.
Yeah, let James do it. He's the man.
He hasn't slept with anyone during Carnival just yet.
That's right. Yeah.
He's been 3 hours, guys. He's getting blue balls.
Bond's got a sex addiction. He's definitely got a sex addiction. I'd like to see the film where he's sitting in group talking about.
That would be a long.
Yeah. She says, he'd walk into the room and going, "Did somebody said something about a group?" Something stupid like that. He'd be cracking onto the therapist and she'd be jumping in the stack with him after 5 minutes. He certainly jumps in without sort of asking too many questions.
Opening credits. And song?
Oh,
shocking.
I don't mind Shirley Bassey.
Probably the lowest of
It didn't lose points for Shirley Bassey.
Look,
but the song's not great.
Memorable.
It's probably not her best one.
I haven't compared them, and it's probably not something that, there'd be too many lists about, but more doing the walk in and then turn to the side and fire the gun. He's one of the worst at it.
Yeah. But also, in the opening credits sequence, there's a shot of someone flying. I'm just like,
She's
what's
like a
going on here?
Oddly.
No, it's real bad. It's real bad.
It is.
Like, if you, in terms of those sequences where they try and do something a little bit interesting with it, it's not very interesting at all. And it might be Shirley Bassey, but it's not her best at all.
Can we discuss how you mentioned the dogs?
Yeah.
The chick getting mauled by the dogs. Can we sort of just address that the only reason that she's in danger is because Bond shows up, charms the pants off her, gets a bit of information, and then fucking leaves her there.
Yeah,
to deal with Rat.
to get torn apart.
Great bloke. I mean, Jesus Christ. You have put her in danger. You need to be kind of fighting a way for her to get out of here too, mate. I mean, if you don't turn up to the island, her life goes on as normal.
Great bloke.
He doesn't do anything wrong other than he goes, "Is there a safe here?" And she nods in the direction of the clock, and he's like, "All right, well, I don't know what to do."
Yeah.
That's all
I'll
she's
take
done.
care of this. Just stay in bed over there. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Like, he's just... Yeah.
There is a sequence so involving her where the look on her face when he comes over and he asks for information and he kisses her, he just kind of leans in. It's horror. She's pulling back, her eyes are wide open.
Yeah.
It's like,
And then she
holy
just
shit.
rolls with it.
Yeah. But I guarantee you, that first kiss, she's not happy. She's,
I wasn't interested, James. Come on, ask a question at least.
Yeah, at least ask something. So, where are you from? Oh, interesting.
There must be like a whole lot of scenes that they've cut of him getting rejected by girls as well, though.
No, it never happens. When you dress like Roger Moore, they can't help themselves.
Yeah.
When you wear a sleeve jacket with the elbow
Oh,
patches.
yes.
Just irresistible.
Be still, my beating heart. Yeah, look.
25-year-old me loved that.
How was the success rate? Was it James Bond?
Same as before. It was the same as before.
Oh, God.
Ah, Jimmy Bond. Yeah, he's just roaming the countryside trying to root everything that moves.
Yeah.
I don't really know why. Yes, he was driving a gondola through the streets of Venice. Trying to sort of get my head around that. I also don't really know why Jaws is suddenly falling in love with woman out of nowhere. It was comedic. It was meant to be comedic.
I didn't mind it so much, but I mean the way that it comes about, like the little cable car crashes into
through
the
the
shop,
wall,
which
yeah.
looks awesome. Then we cut to a shot of Jaws with the fucking cog wrapped around his, like his head is through one of the
One thing he can't lift in the
so
world.
he starts trying to lift it, and then she comes over. It's like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's like Wile E. Coyote kind of, you know, shuffling out of the rubble, and here she comes, and it turns into fucking Pepe Le Pew.
They've got the angle, he's looking down and there's just her boobs and her head and she's smiling back up at him, and then it's his face and he does like a little head wobble.
No, mate.
Dusts himself off.
If anyone's Pepe Le Pew, it's Bond.
That's correct. I picked the wrong character.
Pepe Le Pew, you mongrel.
The mercenaries don't do as well with the ladies as the spies.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's. I mean, well, the spy.
Spies.
It's only one of them.
It's legit.
Yeah,
I mean,
I didn't
there should
mind
be
it.
a sequence where one of the villagers says, "It's just one bloke. One bloke. He's wandering through Europe. He can't be that hard to find. Check all the bloody hotels. We'll find him. We'll shuffle him. We'll smoke him out. He'll come out."
We'll figure it out somehow.
My final dislike is the back end, the last half hour. What
Sluggish.
was happening? What was actually
I didn't mind
happening?
it. I switched off. I didn't pay any attention to the whole bit in the space fight. I
the
woke
space
up
fight
again
was a
for
bit
double
silly.
entendre, close scene. That's it.
Yeah, well, that would have been great.
That was good phone time.
Yeah, that bit you could have just sat there on your phone.
I saw the lasers and I just went, all right, I'm not paying attention to this.
And there's where all the people in spacesuits come flying out and they say having a laser fight. Oh my god! I was just there going, "What have I walked into?"
It was unbelievable.
Going back a bit, the admittedly excellent scene where they're jumping from the planes.
Yeah.
The stunt doubles are comically bad, and this has been covered a number of times. But the Jaws stunt double looks like Jim Carrey with a bad spray tan, and they don't even put the metal on his teeth. He's just sitting there with the teeth showing, and it's just his teeth. It looks ridiculous. I was kind of looking at it for half a second. I'm there going, "Where's Jaws?" Oh yeah, shit, that's him. Like it's supposed to be him. They are comically bad. One of the worst that I can remember in any movie.
And it was really hard too because they were so tied to that shot of them plummeting. You couldn't sort of cut away from it.
Yep.
And when they do, it looks ludicrous
It looks
when it just shows him and Jaws in close up.
Richard Keel's facial expression during that is comical. It's just that's bad.
It's terrible. The other one that I had was Bond going around Dr. Goodhead's room and using all her contraptions, like showing off that he knows
That was kind of funny.
what everything is. It was a fun scene, but there was a couple of moments where it was just a funny sound effect off being Naked Gun.
Yeah.
It was fucking Frank Drebin, especially when he picks up her bag and the antenna pops out and then it starts going doo-doo, like it's a phone or something. If the antenna had gone boing when it popped out, it would have been Frank Drebin, honestly. It was bloody ridiculous.
Like
Setting you up
like
for the
in
next part of the scene.
like in Naked Gun where he has the knife shoe and all that other bullshit that he's looking at.
Yep. I think that was all.
Yeah, that was it for me.
Definitely,
As you said, it was a fine line. Like some of those dislikes, I was massively entertained.
I was hugely entertained because no matter whether I disliked it or liked it, I laughed.
Yeah.
So I think
Mostly.
the most of it, you would have to say you enjoyed it.
I think the really good Bond films are a balance. Like you get a few humorous bits, but you get these thrilling action sequences, and this has got a couple that are just right there, but it can never really shake this vibe where you're just giggling the whole time.
We're one gondola ride away from making this a straight comedy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, yeah. I mean, Top Secret. That's basically what it would have been.
Yep.
And for me, you know what? I'll take this any day over something like, well, was it World Is Not Enough? The one with the invisible car. Holy shit! I mean, I think we really hit the wall there.
Brosnan had a couple of turkeys.
Yeah. Tomorrow Never Dies. You know, there was a couple of poor ones. See, Brosnan fit more into the Roger Moore mould. He was a bit more like that. Because there were double entendres.
He was pretty
Up the wazoo through there.
down the line.
Yeah.
You
But
can't,
I'll take this one any day.
You can't really buy Roger Moore as an athletic James Bond star as much as you can Sean Connery, I guess.
No, Moore
Or
looks
Daniel
out of
Craig.
shape. And he's cracking a bald spot there. So,
That's not the thing that I'm picking up.
I've got question marks on his sexual prowess as well. I don't think he's getting the job done. I think you're right. There are all sorts of sequences of him striking out. There's like 10 goes at it before he finally stumbles across Goodhead and goes,
Go away, you fucking pest.
no, I'm not interested in touching your whatever it is.
Oh dear.
All right, that is Moonraker. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify and Podomatic. Send us an email at thrillme@iinet.net.au. We're on Facebook, Thrill Me Podcast Australia, and at Podomatic at thrillme.podomatic.com. We're also on Instagram at Thrill Me Podcast AU. Keep an eye on the Facebook page for details of our next film. But until then, take it easy and we'll catch up with everyone later. Cheers.
Find the podcast at Podomatic or on iTunes. Don't forget to rate and review. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia or contact us at thrillme, all one word, all lowercase, at iinet.net.au.